Beth Fraser. I'm a senior at Furman University, and my majors are art history and English.
Betsy Rice. I'm a senior at Furman University, and I'm an urban studies major.
Cassidy Schuchmann. I am a senior at Furman University. I'm a psychology major.
Courtney Brown. I'm a senior at Furman University, and I am an applied math major.
It's Leiter, senior, Furman University, theater arts.
I am Elizabeth Allen. I am a senior at Furman University, and I am an elementary education major.
Emma Hodson. I'm a senior public health major, and I go to Furman University.
Josie Hook. I'm class of 2020, so I'm a graduating senior. I go to Furman University, and I'm an English and communication studies major.
Jennison. I am a senior vocal performance major at Furman University.
I'm Michael Stilwell. I'm a senior at Furman University, and I'm a psychology major.
So my goal, my absolute dream career would be to become a commercial real estate developer and own my own business.
Going to Wake Forest this coming year for a master's in business analytics.
Now, I'd like to go to medical school. I really want to be a pediatrician, but I really like wilderness medicine. So life goal, I want to work in a national park.
To have done a lot of different things, tried a lot of new things, spent time with family and people that I loved, had the opportunity to be creative.
I would love to just perform as much as possible in any capacity. I love musical theater. I love classical singing. I love choral singing.
So it's a weird sort of career goal. I want to help people.
I think that my life goal would be to do something fulfilling that I love related to the arts, whether that's working in a museum, whether that's teaching art history or arts education in high school or college. I just want to do something related to the things that matter to me, poetry and beautiful painting.
Well, I don't really know. I want a family. That's kind of it. I want a nice, not a crazy nice house, but I want a home I can call my own, some cute kids, beautiful wife. Yeah, and help people along the way. That's really it. But it wasn't anything, I didn't think it would blow up the way it did.
I would never have thought that it would affect my schooling.
And then, so it was very much it was very overwhelming at how quickly my mindset and the reality of it changed.
It's pretty historical right now, what's going on. So to be part of that and seeing all these people in masks and staying in our house and social distancing.
Because I read the news every morning. So I read right before, I guess it was early January, it was there's a virus. It's uh-oh.
When I first heard about it, I remember seeing a news article about that couple that traveled from the country to Wuhan and that they had a virus that nobody had ever heard of or seen before.
I mean, it kind of just existed outside of myself. I felt like I was here, I was in school, and I was very one-track minded about finishing my semester and doing all the things that comes with that. And
it was very much this is not in my backyard. I don't have to worry about this. This doesn't affect people in my age group.
Everybody was blowing it up way too much. I didn't really foresee it coming and making as big of an impact as it did.
Really didn't think it was going to impact my life really at all. It was just kind of a joke almost.
I mean, it was a meme. It was literally just a meme.
I think even for people who are familiar with the with public health and even some of the professors at Furman who are in the public health department, nobody knew that it would be so catastrophic. It's really hard to predict a pandemic.
It all happened really fast. So mid-March is when I started taking it super seriously.
It was just kind of like watching disaster unfold.
But things really progressed pretty quickly.
I stayed on campus for spring break, so my roommate had ACL surgery, and I was doing my student teaching, and I was like, I'm just going to work through Furman spring break. So I remember I was home in the apartment, and I was taking care of her, and they were like, Furman, we have another week of spring break, and then e-learning is going to start. And I was like, why?
Yeah, but our professor who was on tour with us, I'm the president of the organization, so he called me, and he was on the other bus, and he said, I just want you to keep you in the know, like Furman is suspending classes for the next week, and then we're going to do online classes for a week, so you need to let the people on your bus know because they need to contact their families.
I did a alternative spring break where I was in Greenville, and then I went to Columbia, and so when we heard about the extended spring break, I was so I had no idea what was going on back home.
I was in St. Simon, Georgia, on spring break with my girlfriend, and we were I think that's where we were. We were either there or on our way back. I can't remember which one. But it was just, I had a feeling it was coming, when something's going to happen, but I was really rejecting that as much as I could.
And Clemson had canceled all of their study abroad programs, in February, very early on. And we in Scotland kind of saw that as an alarmist reaction. We didn't see that as an appropriate reaction at the time. So even then, I didn't take it seriously. It wasn't until Furman started canceling Brussels and Berlin, and those are bigger cities, but we started to feel more vulnerable.
And I had been hearing other schools switch to online, and I was like, Furman would never do that. That doesn't affect my school. It's going to be fine. We're going to come back after spring break. And then I left and I came home on the Tuesday of spring break, and then the next day everything was completely different.
And Kyle, and we were in an Uber headed back from the beach, and I was just kind of messing around on my phone, and I got a notification, and I remember scrolling through it and being like, oh shit. We're not gonna go back. And I mean, at that point I still thought that we might go back later. But then obviously that changed.
With my best friend. And I saw that they were canceled and I was sad.
The travel ban was announced. I think that was a Wednesday or Tuesday. And then that Saturday or something like that, in within a week's time, our program was canceled after the Brussels program was canceled. So it all happened really fast.
And then the next day everything was completely different. And then the next day, and then, so it was very much it was very overwhelming.
The celebrations, the banquets and the awards and all those things, and there's so many of our peers that are just not being able to be celebrated in the way that they should be for the gifts that they have given to the university for the past 4 years.
Kind of forgotten about all the senior week things, the fountains and the banquets and stuff. I hadn't even realized that we were missing all that until someone mentioned it a couple days after I got home, and I was like,
yeah, I was supposed to come back 2 days before graduation. So I was upset about having to miss graduation. That kind of sucks. My parents were going to come and see me graduate, walk across the stage.
It's going to be a commencement, but I have no idea when that's supposed to be. I went ahead and bought the graduation regalia, cap and gown and all that stuff, but I don't think I'm actually going to get a chance to use it.
Jumping in the fountains, just walking like to the graduation ceremony.
Who knows if they'll want, like, who, like, by July will people want to go to a graduation?
That I feel most saddened about missing are the things that I was going to be doing that were more personal.
I just feel cheated. Like the past 3.5 years, I've watched my friends go up on the stage and graduate, and even graduation isn't that big of a deal, but just that when I said goodbye to my friends over spring break, I didn't know that might be the last time I would see some of them. So, and it's like, well, you can pick up the phone and call them, but I'm like, but it's not the same.
Senior traditions as much as just like the last class that I would have, and like noticing that it's the last time I'm going to have a class at Furman, and the last DH key, and the last like walk to class, just the small things like that.
I miss my little 19 fourth graders.
Every little second I could have spent with my friends. Not so much a tradition. Maybe if I had to pick like a tradition, it would be that the week leading up to graduation, or just kind of like free to do whatever we want. Because it really hit at just like the worst time. We just got through midterms, so everybody was like, I can relax now, like I know I'm gonna be okay. And so a lot of people were just pushing the living your senior year off until after spring break.
I know a lot of people are sad about not being on campus, but I'm just grateful that I'm at home and like I really love my family, so I'm happy to be here. And there's a lot of people in the world that have it a lot worse than me right now, so I haven't really been focusing that much on what I would be missing at Furman, and have just been preferring, I guess, to look more to the future.
For me, I know that this whole thing is, I was really sad at first, and I'm just getting past the anger stage. I was really in a point where I was just angry at everything, and I wasn't feeling like myself. And so I would just encourage all of my fellow seniors who I know are going through the same thing, who are really mourning the end of our college career, to try to remember all of the wonderful opportunities that we did get in the 3/4 that we were able to have.
It's like, well, we're allowed to feel grief for the things that we're going to miss out on.
Do what you can to see other people. So Skype your friends, and you're not alone in the situation. Like, you've heard it over and over again, but you truly aren't. Like, everyone in the country is dealing with this.
It is what it is, but at the end of the day, we're going to be all right. We're going to keep on pushing, and we'll get through this. I guess this sucks. It sucks for everyone.
Because this is really sucky now doesn't mean it's always going to be this sucky. Like, oh my gosh, I can tell you about this. So I have a tattoo, and it says, "This too shall pass," and I got it a long time ago, not really thinking about it, and I was like, wow, I had no idea how applicable this was going to be.
Even though it is a particularly difficult sacrifice for us to make for our personal lives, it is ultimately so worth it for the greater good of our community.
It's just, it's awful, but there is going to be some good that comes out of this. I don't know what it will be, but I look forward to seeing what it'll be.
I think what I've learned personally is that you just need to live day by day and expect the unexpected, and just it's okay to live in the moment and to not think too far into the future, and to appreciate the little things, spend time with family, and appreciate your health 100%. That's something that I take for granted.
This is happening to everyone in the world. This is a global thing, and nobody can control it, so we shouldn't be upset about what we didn't get to have, especially because we got to have so much by even just being able to go to college.
I'm leaving Furman even though it's sooner than wanted or anticipated, a better person, a stronger person, and I just want to thank all of the faculty, staff, and like especially the class of 2020 for like being on this journey with me, and I hope to see everybody soon, and always and forever roll Dins.